What is going on, all you lovely people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike O'Hora, and this is a lovely penguin. Welcome back, guys. We are doing the set breakdown today of the music video "What Is Love" by Twice. A really cool video, to be honest. A lot of awesome shout outs to different movies and such. So it's going to be a pretty cool set breakdown, to be honest with you guys. A lot of fun. So before we get into it, let's make sure that you guys are subbed to the channel, because if you're not, then you're going to get lost and then we're going to not be able to find you anymore. So please sub to the channel. That was so silly, and I hate myself for doing that, but whatever. Also, guys, check out my Patreon and stuff and all the other links that are down below. There's a lot of content on that Patreon, and there's even more to come, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. And yeah, let's get right into it. Also, just before we get into this, ignore the AC. I'm sorry, it's just going to be there. I can't do anything about it. So the music video opens up with this cuckoo clock. It's a really awesome piece that they got here. Honestly, it's something they most likely rented out from a rental house or prop house or whatever. And it's a functioning one. It works. And all you actually do in the back is there's a little crank that you can kind of set that it will pop that little bird out and go cuckoo, cuckoo, or make whatever noise it makes. But for the sake of the music video, it's not going to actually make any noise. It's just going to pop out, flap its wings, and then the music video starts. But still, it's a cool little piece. And it's good because they literally just did a close-up of it. And it looks great. Alright, so I will say this. They come back and forth between this shot and then all the different references to all the different movies that we're going to be looking at here. And this shot is a really awesome one because it definitely gives off like basement vibes. It's like you're hanging out with your gals, having a slumber party or sleepover, whatever you want to call it. I mean, she's Sana's over here. She's got her night eye. What? Sleep mask, I guess is what you call it, on her head. She's ready to go. She's ready for bed. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Diana also has one too. I think that's one. But still, it gives off like a kind of gives off those like 70 vibes, especially with like the tiled floor here and then the diamond pattern on the walls as well as the wood walls here. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, all this stuff is going to be all sorts of rentals and such that you'll get from different rental prop houses and whatnot. Like the tables, the books, the shelves, the bed, the couch, the pillows, all that good stuff. But it all goes together to kind of give off that younger feeling that these ladies are teens again, you know? So the older that the stuff looks, the more young they will look in turn. But at the same time, it just makes for a great contrast to the rest of the video, you know. So it's interesting. First reference, it's the Princess Diaries. You know, they got a classic hallway high school scenario going on. They also have her with like that iconic like half hairs crazy, half hairs done look that you get in that movie. You also get like the nerdy girls with her, and then they got like the cool popular girls as well, the total stereotypes of a high school group. You know, the classic open locker, the cool girls are standing over there, the not so cool girls over here, but they want to be like them so bad and whatnot. But for our sake, yeah, they actually got these lockers in here, which is great. You can rent lockers. Usually they come 3 lockers at a time, and you just stack them together, and then you can make them as long as you want, but they're usually in 3s. But as always, I always am curious to see if they actually built these sets or if they rented them as well. For the most part, it seems like most music videos for K-pop is typically built. They usually use the different sets that they make on their own, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was one that they made themselves. And then very, very specifically for different locations, they will actually go and rent out a location because they're looking for that exact location, you know? So I'm pretty sure this is also a build. But I mean, for the most part too, it's simple things that you would see in a high school. There's little flyers, there's things all over the place. You know, the double doors as well as a classic part of high school. you know, different hallways and whatnot, and even just like signage talking about cameras and whatnot, you know, stuff you see in school. So for the most part, you just print all that stuff, tack it up there with some tape, whatever, but boom, bada bing, you got a high school hallway. Oh, also the stickers are sick. And it's funny too, because I'm pretty sure you could tell these are just pieces of paper, just because like you could see just a little bit of white hanging off the edges there where they cut the paper, and those were just regular drawings, and then they just stuck them to this locker. Doesn't make them look any worse. Sometimes people actually do this at school too, so they might not be exactly trying to emulate stickers, but still, I just like them. I think that's super fun. Also, I really love the pinata. It's a great sticker. By the way, it is so, it's so funny that they did the freaking ceramic scene, the pottery scene from Ghost. Because that scene gets a bit raunchy. But yeah, for the most part, you can actually rent out pretty much everything here again. You'd buy the clay like you were going to be making it, using it in a pottery class. Again, this is one of those things that I initially was wondering if this was possibly a location that they rented out, or if it's a studio, but the thing that makes me believe this is a studio is actually the fact that the pottery wheel is just kind of freestanding. And normally, at least over here in the US when they do pottery, you have like a built-up shell that you stick around the wheel, and you can actually pop it off and pop it back on. And it's mainly just to make sure that when the water shoots off, it kind of collects it, and it also collects the extra clay that gets torn off when you're shaping up your bowl or cup or vase or whatever you're making. And then the rest of the stuff, yeah, you can just rent it. Or, I mean, honestly, if they have the materials, they could just have made it. I don't know. It would definitely be cheaper to just make them yourself, but it's harder to do that. But especially if they already got clay. But for the most part, no, they just rented this stuff. I was kidding. They would never actually have you sit and make pottery for a music video, unless it was like a very specific piece that needed to look a very certain way and whatnot. And then that would be something you'd have to be doing on your own time outside of work in order to make it look just right. But yeah, everything else here rented. Really, really funny reference though. I love it. Okay, so this shot in particular, first off, really funny. They're doing Pulp Fiction, if you didn't catch on to that yet. The scene with what's his name, John Travolta and Uma Thurman, where they get up in the restaurant and they dance together. So they're kind of emulating that restaurant, but it looks like it was. It looks like it was graphically added in, and like you can kind of tell just because like on the two girls on stage here, Momo and Chewie here, they the lighting is like a slightly different on them compared to the background, so they look like they're not actually in the room that they're in, which would make me believe that they're in front of a green screen and then they just pasted on the background behind it. Plus, you got all the Twice girls going crazy, but they're also multiples of each one, which is such an awesome effect. Such an awesome effect. Like, seriously, super funny. And it's funny, too, because I didn't notice it first. I didn't notice it until I paused it when we were watching it. But, yeah, this is a very cool shout-out to a great movie, too. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction and you're old enough, you should go watch it. So, for Chewie's... also, I hope I'm saying that right. Somebody told me to say it like Chewie, like Chewbacca. But I'd spell with a T-Z-U-Y-U, I think. Chewie? I don't know. For hers, I kind of don't know exactly what movie this is. It definitely gives off like Disney princess vibes, but that's not a movie. I mean, realistically, it's more just like the girls in the background all have like different, like kind of single colored dresses, but that are bright colors. So it kind of gives me that kind of a vibe. We'll get to see the background a little bit later in the video, and we'll come back to that and talk about it a little bit more. Then also, we get like the knight, like the knight in shining armor. Maybe it's Prince Charming. I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what they're going for here, especially with the underwater, like the aquarium in between them too. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this one, to be honest. Either way, though, this aquarium is a really, really cool set piece here. This is something that you would not build, especially because there's actually fish in there. This would be something that you guys would find on a location somewhere, and then you would film at the location for this very specific shot. So I wonder if any of the other shots kind of line up with this and are in the same area. But yeah, this would all be on a location. Yeah, because I mean, you're not going to build an aquarium and like get living fish and do all this stuff. They got the pumps running and everything. Like they wouldn't do that for a music video. I mean, this tank alone is easily over $10,000. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how they did it. I'd imagine they went and found this tank and filmed wherever it was. I will say, I don't know. I don't know what this one is either. I don't get this reference. However, it's a very simple set pieces. It's a bookshelf with books in the background, and then it's a curtain. It's a curtain over the face here, just standing by a window. So, not much for the art department to do on this one, but still, I imagine this is a good reference. Honestly, it definitely gives me more like from the very little that I know about like K-dramas, it kind of gives me that more of a vibe. So I don't know if maybe that's what this is referencing to. Who knows? Then we got the iconic La La Land. You know, the park bench up on that hill with the trees and the background of LA and the distance with the beautiful colored sky and whatnot. And for the most part, this is a relatively simple setup. Yeah, that whole entire background, that's all going to either be digitally edited in, or it's a like a drape thing that they put in the background, but most likely it's just edited in. And then these pillars, these are real. These are actually on location, and those branches and stuff, they look like they're actually real as well. I believe the tree is probably edited in, but this lamppost and this pillar here are also actually there, as well as the bench and these other two pillars here. And that's stuff that you, again, you can go get at a prop house. But even in the original, in La La Land, I mean, I haven't actually watched the movie, but, you know, I've seen the clips of this dance that they do. And it's a pretty simple set for them, too. You know, it's not about the set, it's about the action that's happening. It's about the dance. It's the relationship between the two in the video. So, like I've said in so many other videos, simple doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes the simplicity just accents the acting, it accents the dancing, it accents the song, depending on whatever you're watching. And in this case, it accents their dancing, it accents the song. I will say, too, I don't know what's going on with Mina's shots here. I have no idea what this is from. Either way, it's still funny. It also still makes me chuckle that you can tell it's not like... As she turns her head, like the headphone's not quite on her ear. I don't know if that's on purpose. Maybe it has something to do with whatever movie it's actually referencing. Yet again, not 100% sure what movie it is. Also, sorry, I'm just noticing as well, because they are back at the Pulp Fiction set here, but this stage is very real that they're standing on, and it's got a whole nice emblem on it as well, and I'm wondering, it's most likely a vinyl that they just, you just unroll it and you stick it to the floor. Usually, you can either use paste that you can buy and get for the vinyl itself, or sometimes you can actually get vinyls that already have stickers on the back, and then you just kind of peel off the piece that you would if it was a regular sticker. I don't know what that's called, the paper. And then you just stick it down to the floor, and you just make sure that you do it, and you do it smoothly so that there's no air bubbles, because you don't want anybody tripping, and also you want it to look good. But still, I'm not 100% sure. It looks like it could be like a clock or even like... I don't know, maybe it's one of their records or something. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to tell. here we are. We're at, I guess this would be Chewie's Fantasy, and it's this really extravagant staircase into an extravagant room. It's like a mansion or a castle or something along that lines. But everything in here is going to be very elegant and very decadent or whatever. So like they have these accent pieces on the walls that are funny because you can just buy those straight up. You just paint them and you nail them to the wall. Really, actually, a pretty simple thing to install. I mean, obviously, you're not doing it for it to be long-lasting and stuff. You're just doing it to work for the music video and whatnot. But yeah, all that stuff is just regular build, and a lot of the stuff too is just going to be rentals. So you'd rent these couch pieces, the little side tables, the mirrors with the side tables, even the chandeliers as well, the statues that you see here. And then I believe those images on the back there, those are probably prints that they just stuck up onto the wall to give it that extra, like they got fancy artwork here in this beautiful building that they're in. And then I would guess the same thing for the flooring is probably some sort of laminate that they laid down in order to make it look like a marble floor with a design in it, you know? But either way, it's a beautiful set. And the art team just goes above and beyond every single time, which is like just absolutely bonkers to me when I watch some of these videos. Because these are a lot bigger budget than anything I've done. So I haven't had to do anything this extensive before. But still, they, bravo. Bravo. I think we've talked about this in almost every single video that we've done in set breakdowns, but plants are more or less rentable. You know, you can actually rent live plants, but more likely than not, you usually rent out the plastic plants that look relatively real. Another trick I've known some productions to have done, which I am not saying it's a good thing they did this, it's definitely a bad thing, but you just can buy and return plants too if you want them to be real plants. You go to Home Depot, they'll pretty much take anything back. Just saying. Don't do that. Do not do that. But sometimes people do that. Just saying. I don't advocate for that. Don't do that. However, I do know people that do. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. So an interesting thing about this shot here, during the music video itself, I thought for a second that this was actually a different location and that they had a different shot, but I'm actually realizing as we're looking at it paused here that this is just up the stairs onto that first mezzanine of, or first landing of the staircase in Chewie's big great hall. You can tell because of these pillars here, and then also you got the paintings on either side. And yeah, it's just they just kind of put like a red filter over the whole thing, and it makes it look different. This room is awesome. I love it. I think this room is so dope. If I was to be the one who would have to make this, I would go about it. Oh, by the way, this is such a bad freeze frame. Dan looks normal, but the other two are struggling. But yeah, if I was going to be making this on my own, what I would do to make this happen quickly and to make it work efficiently is I would paint the whole room white, and then I would buy a whole bunch of pink paper, such as the pink that you're seeing down here, and then I would take that paper and I would cut it, make sure it's perfect squares. I would measure it, make sure that it all fits. And then it looks like they're probably roughly a foot by a foot squared pink squares. And then, yeah, you just glue them to the floor, glue them to the wall. It's very simple, very easy thing to do. And yeah, it would make it look really great. However, I will say there is one thing that would absolutely bug the crap out of me. And if you notice on the right-hand side here, you can see how the pink goes to the pink, the white goes to the white here at the corners, and it does that for the whole wall. And that means somebody did not pay attention when they designed this, and they made a mistake. But I hate it. I hate that it does that, and it looks terrible. Sorry, Twice. I love you. Your art team is great. However, they goofed on this one. I actually noticed it when I was watching it on the video, and I was like, oh god, we're definitely talking about that. Plus, the platforms they're sitting on are pink as well, in case you're wondering. Oh, she's in the commercial. I didn't even notice that. Ah, look at that. I didn't even notice. That makes perfect sense. Because I'm like, what on earth is this movie reference? It's a commercial because she's got that Define AccuV. I don't even know what it is. Is it a pill or something? I don't know. Makes you radiant and chic. I will say this. Our girl here, Young, I'm not 100% sure what the actual location is that she's in. I don't understand. It's basically just like an older like house or apartment where like she's in the kitchen back here, but then she comes forward into like a living room / bedroom or whatever. But she comes out as different characters. Like you got Charlie Chaplin. She does Marilyn Monroe. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what character this is. So if you do, let me know. There's Marilyn. Also, I will say too, I know it's not on purpose or anything, but this set does her dirty because it just makes her look really short. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just it shows off her height, and I feel like a lot of their other sets it doesn't actually do that. So this is just a little funny little tidbit. But yeah, she's definitely not a tall one. But yeah, you can see the TV over here. It's definitely going for that like early like 50s, maybe even 40s vibe, where you know, modern Western like culture is really coming around, and like the whole like sitcoms are coming into existence. Oh, is she maybe doing a sitcom character like I Love Lucy or something like that? I feel like they would put it in black and white. I don't know, but still, all this stuff you're gonna be able to rent it. I love the cereal box in the back. It's just some generic random cereal. That's just a box that they printed out that just says like freaking Grain Crunch or something like that. And that's just what you do because you can't actually have labels in your music videos because you'll get in trouble. People will sue you. But yeah, for the most part, it's all going to be set pieces. They got a bunch of flats with windows and all that stuff. They put wallpaper up on it to make it look like the 50s. And yeah, all this other stuff is going to be props. See, there is the iconic Princess Diary look. She's got the curly, messed up hair on the one side, and the other side's all finished and done. And then they show off the photo of her looking like a nerd. Who would have thought just messing your hair up a little bit and putting on glasses would make you ugly? But hey, I didn't make this up. So this shot here, all green screen. I have no idea what this is from. My initial thought was Sound of Music, but that is not in the winter. So I don't know what this is. I have no idea what movie they're going for here, but she comes out and screams. No idea. No clue. So yeah, then they really just kind of cut back and forth between the different scenes that we've seen so far. However, this one with Mina here, they only really did close-ups on her, so you don't actually get to see much of the background itself, but you can actually tell this is the basement that they're in from the beginning of the video where they're all at like their sleepover. You can tell because you got that diamond pattern wallpaper up top, and then like they just hung up tapestries and little party streamers and a disco ball, and up here is where that bed was, but they changed it out and put in a bunch of balloons and other party pieces here too. Just a clever little reworking of a set, to be honest. So yeah, guys, that will about do it for this video. It's a really, really cool video. It's very clever. They got a lot of awesome references in there as well. If you know any of the references I didn't get, please let me know down below which ones they were. And I'd love to find out, to be honest. Because obviously I love movies and stuff, but I don't know everything about every single movie ever. Or even TV shows, you know? It's just the way it is. So, yeah, let me know. And then, yeah, before you guys go, please sub to the channel. Check out the Patreon. Do all the other things. Check out the links to our Twitch, which we're on most of the time. And then, yeah, guys, I love you. Stay aggressively positive. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Goodbye. Bye.